Here's a weird bug I don't think I've ever seen before. It looks like a carpenter bee, but it sounds like a horsefly. It's flying around me like a horsefly. We moved the ram back over to Rico and Monica's house. So now today I took this bunch of sheep and moved them over here together with the others. So now they're all in one pen again. And now they can come in and start working on eating some of this brush that we surrounded with the fence. And it looks like they're enjoying it, so they're really getting in there. It doesn't look like a whole lot has been eaten yet. Some of this, and that's about it. Updated you in a while on what I've been doing on the siding on the house, so I thought I'd show you. I got up this high. Actually, the front of the house is what I've been focusing on. I want to go ahead and get the rest of the garage done, but right now I think I'm working on finishing this corner here. I don't think I'm going to do this siding up here yet before I do this. But yesterday we got the front door on, so that was a good accomplishment. I think once I reach here, I'm gonna stop and leave this for later and go ahead and finish this out. And they've done a good job thinning it out. They made their own path through here. They took the leaves off of everything here and everything here. This is a lot of briars and rose, like wild roses and these really thorny plants, I don't know what they're called, that are terrible. So that might be part of the reason why they didn't dig into this a lot. But they cleared that. This was all leaves, thick leaves all through here, mostly poison ivy. And you know, gosh, what is there, like 2%? I would say like 2% of the leaves that were there before are still there. This is the first time that they're going to spend a couple of days in this, I guess what we call it, the back pasture maybe. This is the area that was all forest, as thick as everything you see here. And we've been clearing it. The Stevens helped me clear, and we've actually got grass growing. The grass is not very thick, but it should be plenty for them for a couple of days. And then they have all these other plants, like the poison ivy, but also, that might be blackberries. You know, they seem to like to eat the leaves off the blackberries. What are y'all working on? They're rushing over to find out. What are you eating? Wait, let's go see what he's eating. Let's go see what she's eating. They're diving in, sticking their noses right into where somebody else is eating. I don't know if I've done any tomato plant updates in a little while. A lot of the plants are getting up here. This one is as tall as me. All of them are doing okay and producing fruit, but like this one over here, it's almost completely dead now. I don't know if something happened to it. Don't know. Don't know if it was the soil. I have no idea. Several were looking kind of rough, so I gave them some fish emulsion fertilizer. And I think a few of them have gotten green again and looking better. So anyway, we're getting a lot of good tomatoes. I think Victor has told me that he's not 100% sure whether taking off the suckers is the best way to go or not. I know if you don't want your plant to branch, it's a good way to go. But it does look like the plant is thicker and healthier down here and very spindly up here, even though it is still producing tomatoes. The tomatoes down at the bottom look a little better than the ones at the top, but maybe they just haven't gotten big yet. It makes me just want to grab a tomato. The pepper plants are looking great. We have some jalapenos coming in. They're still kind of small, kind of like a pinky finger. No fruit this year yet on the lemon or the lime or the avocado. I really didn't expect anything from the avocado this year other than just branches and leaves. And these in another year or two, they'll start producing. This is one of the apple trees that was here on the property when we moved here. And it's in pretty rough shape as it's getting old. And I don't know why the trees in this yard seem to have all this lichen all over them. But I think the tomatoes are better this year. You know, we keep hacking off dead parts of the plant and pruning it and thinning it a little bit. Maybe it's a little too thick right here. Maybe a little too thick right here. But we have been pruning it a lot. And these are looking pretty nice. They're small, but they're, especially like these, they look really nice and healthy. And then the plant still on some occasions tries to break its own branches off with a lot of production in one spot. Over in this garden, we've let the weeds at the back grow up. I mean, they're taller than anything in the garden. 7 or 8 foot tall weeds sometimes. I'm gonna try this today. I've used it once or twice just for quick stuff. But I'm gonna try to hack down some big weeds with it and see how it goes. Razorback grass hook. I'm not sure this would cut grass very well because it is not very sharp. It looks sharp, but even after doing a little extra sharpening, it's just really not that sharp. We'll see. I think I'm gonna compare that to a swing blade and see, just for hacking the really thick grass down at the ground, is not doing a good job at all. But some of those stalks, plants that are, you know, growing stalks, it does hack that down really well. So I'm thinking a combination of a swing blade and that thing could work really well. Works great. But that other grass hook, I don't know. I'm sure there's a good place for it. If y'all know a place to use that, tell me. But now we can walk down the whole back of our garden, pull out some of these crazy weeds. Oh, time for lunch. Finally getting a little bit of rain this morning, and it's supposed to possibly last until 12:30 or so after lunch. It hasn't, it's just kind of wet the ground a little, and it already looks dry again, but you can see that got mostly wet. So the top of things, you know, you see it's soaking wet on top, but the sides just have a few drips. So not much rain, but we need as much as we can get. This is what a lot of the field looks like. So the ground looks pretty covered, but if you look closely, it's just a little covering of some of the dead grass, and then you see the dirt. And there's large gaps between living plants. So you see some green here, but a lot of brown, only just a tiny bit of just a few little small green plants. We really need new growth coming up. We need it really soon. We might have to start feeding hay to our sheep in the summertime, which is crazy, because this kind of grass, it just doesn't look like, unless we get some rain and liven it up again, it doesn't look like there's enough for them to eat. I found a downside to feeding the sheep poison ivy. I go over and I start rubbing them, and then I realize, oh no, wait a minute, they might have poison ivy on them. So now I've got poison ivy on my arm. I already had some between my fingers, which I'm not sure where that came from. And I don't know for sure that it came from the sheep. I think so. That's the most likely place. So since there's a light rain this morning, I think I'm going to work inside here. And I've saved up all kinds of projects. I'm really glad I did the front door, because that's one of the projects I was not really looking forward to. But I've been saving up some other things I'm not looking forward to, like doing this back door. I had framed it a little too large, so I need to frame it in, make it a little smaller. And then that door is so heavy, I really need somebody to help me put it in, so I might need to wait for Caleb or somebody to help me put it in place. And then this panel, I don't like drilling the precision holes for where the shower valve is going to be. You know, I need to cut holes for this and for this little shower sprayer. Then finish the insulation on this wall and finish the insulation behind that shower panel. So there's more than enough to do today.